Hello, Alan Miller here. Sherlock's here with me too. I'm going to produce a video today that addresses manners. I want my dog to listen to me, and I would like my dog to be invisible in public. So, the first thing that I would like to address is I love using food to teach language through charades or operant conditioning. But I think the most important thing that you're going to take from this video is using a leash and a collar in the house. I prefer a collar, as most of you know, because it gives you more control and more influence. I'm using the leash to pretend like he's free. Put your dog on leash in the house a little bit every day. I don't care how much. And I'm going to have a target, and I'm going to use food to teach him to recognize the target. I don't care if he sits, stands, or levitates, but I need him to stay near the target, which is going to stay near me. And I'm going to do some work in the other room on the computer, and I'm going to force him to stay with me by just having him on leash. When I say force, he's just not allowed to wander away and chew on molding or chase the cat or pee or poop in another room. Usually I don't use a nice leash like this with puppies. I will use a piece of rope that I don't really care about, or with little tiny breeds, I will use a piece of string so that they can drag it around the house freely without it getting caught on anything. But I have something that I can step on when they try to get away from me, like when they grab your eyeglasses or they grab your remote and they play keep away. You'll be very happy that you have an attachment to them. I'm also using the leash to reinforce manners. We go to the front door. I'm going to interrupt jumping on company, bolting out the front door, any indifference to commands. If you can put your dog on leash a little bit every day in the house, this is the single most important thing that will help you get your dog to be good out in public. What you do here plays into how the dog acts out there. I like using a collar for one simple reason. I'm using the collar and a leash to help the dog understand no. Most people come to a dog trainer for the word no, whether you like it or not. I don't want my dog bolting out the front door, jumping on company, overreacting to another dog. So when you get into those social situations and you're simply just holding your dog back with a buckle collar or a harness, it creates a scenario where the dog wants to do bad things more, unfortunately for you. And most of you have experienced this. Whether my dog is young or old, if I can have a collar on, this is the same collar that they use on every dog at every dog show, just not so fancy. If I can apply a little bit of pressure to the point where the dog backs off, then I can start connecting with my dog in a much more personal way, which is going to be important for you to become a leader. You're going to need to be a leader, not a roommate. Understanding discipline. And this is the most important and the most difficult thing that I have to teach people, because most people think of discipline as taking away privileges or ignoring behavior or punishing the dog from the perspective of human psychology. You will fail if you do this, and you'll just become frustrated, and that usually leads to things that you don't want to do. So, I would suggest that most of you think about how a dog is really designed to learn by nature. In other words, it's either fun or it's not fun, plain and simple. We can call it a lot of things, and you can be a good example all you want. You could be the best driver in the world, but that's not going to help your dog become a good driver. Getting right down to nuts and bolts, if I have a slip collar on a dog, just like what you'd use at a dog show, I have the ability to squeeze. So now, when my dog is being inappropriate, whether it be with another dog or somebody at the front door or with my own cat, which won't come out of the bedroom anymore, right? I can now apply discipline in a controlled way, just strong enough to get the dog's attention or redirect the behavior without hitting, yelling, or screaming. And the most ridiculous thing that I see is putting a dog on timeout. Like the dog has the cognitive skills to understand that? I think not. So everything needs to be approached in real time, and sometimes there has to be a slight physical aspect to the spoken word, or the dog's just not going to ever respect you. Something that's very important on a daily basis is exercising your dog. So, one of the things that I want you guys to do is to stop thinking about walking as exercise for a dog. Only if a dog has severe physical disabilities do I consider walking to be exercise. The dog needs some kind of aerobic exercise aside from walking. Walking is awesome, don't get me wrong, but he also needs to run around and exercise. So, with this particular dog who doesn't fetch, I chase him around, and I just got done chasing him around, so he's probably not going to run now, but I get him all hyper and I chase him around. Let's go for a run. I'm going to get that puppy. I'm going to get that puppy. There he comes. I don't care how you exercise your dog, but find a way to do it. Another thing that's super important is operant conditioning. When there's no distractions, start using food to teach language. Stand, sit, down, walk next to me. Maybe walk next to me on this side. Maybe I want you to get here so you don't get in the way. Maybe I want you in front. Maybe I want you to stay in front and stay very close. Maybe I want you to go to your bed. And most importantly, maybe I want you to learn that it's always good to come back. It's always good to come back. I don't teach stay or critical commands without a leash because I can't guarantee the dog's going to listen. But operant conditioning or charades with exaggerated motions are super important. I want you to use food in the house to teach your dog how to find or go to a target. Simple, easy, right? I don't care what the target is, but I'm going to start making the dog stay on the target with a leash and a collar, staying close to me when I'm watching TV or I'm on the computer or company comes over and I want the dog to have good manners. I want him to learn to stay on his bed, but I am not going to walk across the room and put him on his bed and have him come off and have to put him back and forth and do that. So, operant conditioning, food lure work, bed. I don't care what the bed is. Bed. I just want him to understand it. So when he shows me that he can understand what I'm trying to convey to him, then I'm going to reward him. And then what I'm going to do is use the leash as a way to teach him that he has to stay with the bed. So what the bed is made out of is not important. What's important is, Sherlock, at the plus, what's important is that he just understands what he's being told to do. That's why the food work is important. The leash is going to help me keep him there. Remember, keep it simple, keep it easy, and keep training. A lot of the products we demonstrate and use ourselves are linked in the description box below. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. That way you will get notified when we post new content. Thanks for watching.